Hey everyone, this is the first chapter in the WireMock tutorial. So where I'm going to explain you about the introduction to WireMock. So in this introduction, I'm going to explain you what is WireMock all about and what are the use cases where WireMock fits very much. And also I'm going to set up the project for the demo that in subsequent videos I'm going to use. Right. So let's go ahead and see what is this WireMock all about. So before going to the formal definition of wire mock, let's see what is the common test scenario where it is going to fit. So consider this is an application where you are writing the unit test for. So this is the unit or end-to-end testing for this application. And this is the application where you are calling the third-party API, right? So and this third-party API is being used in your application for which you are writing the unit test. See the normal scenario that when you are writing the JUnit test using the normal libraries, that is Mockito. So for Java, we are using the Mockito library to mock the external dependencies, right? So in Mockito, what we were doing, we were mocking the classes that are there that are part of your application. But what about the third-party APIs? We were actually not mocking the third-party API because the method those were returning, they were returning specific output which is just related to Java. They were just Java object or some values, right? But the third party response is whether JSON or they can be XML as well and many more, right? So we were not able to mock those with the Mockito library. And in this scenario, when I want to mock this third party API, the way it responds means JSON or XML, then WireMock comes into picture. It is going to help you very much in mocking the third party, right? So I hope the scene is clear now where we are going to use Mockito. Now let's go ahead and see the formal definition of the Mockito and what is this all about. So what is WireMock? It is a simulator for HTTP based APIs and it is also considered as service virtualization tool or a mock server, right? So mock server, not the mock for the classes but the mocking for a server, right? So there are actual APIs, actual microservices that are running on dedicated host or clouds. When you actually hit those servers, they give you some response based on the request that are you sending those one, right? In this case, WireMock can be used. You can fix that these are the requests and these are the responses. So for those requests, it is going to give you the same response without any coding that we were doing with the Mockito. So if you know the Mockito, you can easily relate this one. But if you do not know Mockito, that's also perfectly fine. Consider it as a mock server, right? Not the actual server. And also service virtualization, the client who is calling the service, it doesn't know that the response is coming from the virtual or actual service. So that is why it is service virtualization. It enables you to stay productive and API that you depend on. So the API that still doesn't exist and that is not complete or costly to access. Consider consider a project design where you have multiple microservices are planned to be developed, but the development on the all the microservices are parallel, right? So and one service depends on other one. So at the time of development you cannot call the other services, right? Because they are in development and they are not available at that time. In that cases you can use the mock server because request and response is fixed, design is fixed that they are going to be in the same way. So those things can be configured in the wire mock and can be used at the time of development as well, right? So the same applies here as well. If you are using any third party API which is costly to access, but you need to run continuous regression test for your service, right? So you need the response from the actual service, but that is costly. So WireMock comes into picture to save the cost here, right? So you fit this mock server instead of the actual API. It supports testing of the edge cases and failure modes. So all the edge cases that are there, for example, if I talk about the timeout simulation, we can do easily with the wire mock. And failure modes, if I want to simulate a failure, any network failure, that also can be introduced with the help of wire mock, right? It is fast, so reduces build time significantly. And how I am saying that it is fast, we will see when we will be writing the unit and integration test for using WireMock in the subsequent videos. Now let's talk about some features of this one. So first feature is stubbing. So stubbing, I was talking about that if this is the actual service that is there, right? And if you the request is coming here with the specific input, right, and it is responding with some data. So the request we can configure that if I talk about the payment, if API is about payment, and if it is coming with some user ID and it is saying that the pay amount 123 with someone and much more data, it is going to take these requests and it is going to respond based on the input that you have, whether it is success or rejected and failure messages as well, right? So this at actual time it is going to vary. Sometimes it is going to fail, some time if there is a network failure it is going to fail. With the WireMock, I can say that when this ID and 123 this is coming here, you respond with success, right? So anytime you give this ID 123, it is going to show you the success response, and that is the role of the mocking, right? And this same configuring request and responding this is known as stubbing, right? So I can stub for the any request to respond this specific response, right? And I can say that for the specific request respond with the specific response. All the use cases that you can think of we can do with the WireMock. Next, verification. When you have accessed the WireMock, it keeps a record of that whether this API with this request and with response has been accessed or not, so that we can verify it later that the interaction that was supposed to happen in our application that is happening or not, right? Next comes record playback of interaction. So when you are accessing the APIs, you can record those APIs and you can later verify and later take a look that what are the response, what are the requests that are going through your API. So record playback of interaction can be done with the WireMock. Next, injection of fault and delays, we can easily do it with the WireMock. Simulation of stateful behavior, this also can be done easily with the WireMock. So any subsequent stateful means, so normally HTTP is stateless, right? But we can make it stateful using session, cookie and all those stuffs. So all of introduction of session, cookie and all those things we can do with the WireMock, so we can make it stateful. So that is the meaning of saying this state. Moving to more features about the WireMock, the WireMock library can be used as a JVM library in unit test, and this WireMock also can be run as a server, right? And it can be also you can run it as a local host in your machine, or it can be deployed in a remote machine, and you can use it that way. And it also can be deployed on the cloud as well, and from there as well you can use it. So the thing is about it is going to work as a server, whether if you are writing the unit test or if you want to access it from any third part, from any third machine, any host machine or any cloud, you can deploy. You have both the option, which way you want to go, right? And all of the WireMock features are easily accessible via its REST API. When you run it as a server, you can access it usually using the REST API that happens with all the microservices, HTTP REST based microservices, right? So access is also easy. So isn't it just mocking? Let's see whether both are same or is there any difference with the WireMock and the way mocking is done. So let's see that. So this is the normal application that you write a microservice, right? So you write a controller and you write a service and you write a gateway to interact with the third party APIs. Here I am talking about the HTTP, right? So when you write the unit tests, you mainly focus on the service where business logic is residing. You, because in controller you have just one liner, right? So when you write the microservices, normally this is a standard. There should be no business logic in the controller. It should just delegate the call to service, and service should take care of all the things and just return the response to controller, right? So it is taking a request and just responding to those one. And if your microservice is self-sufficient and it doesn't need the interaction of the outer world, so it just plays around the services business logic that it has and respond to the controller here, right? But if it needs the third party API as well, so you do not put the call to third party in the service logic, right? So now this, see, understand the separation here. You put the third party call in a separate class, if I can say the gateway or any class, you can say that the for the outer interaction, right? So you can separate the boundaries, separate the classes, so if there is any problem you can just point out and go there and check that. So this gateway is here to call the outer world, right? So, and here is the business logic. And when you are using the Mockito Java library, you just focus on this one. You do the mocking, you mock this gateway, not this one, right? So you write the mocking for this gateway to simulate the call of the HTTP API here, right? But not be having this one, not mocking the HTTP, that this response is coming and process this one. And same happens with the controller as well, right? So usually we do not write the controller test here, so we are just focusing on the service one. So here mock server plays very much important role. So with the help of mock server here, you can mock this third party call. So this gateway also comes into picture in unit tests as well, right? So you can actually call this gateway, and this gateway then calls the mock server, wire mock server, to give you the response and the process as usual, right? So you just test the logic that is written in the gateway to process the third party API calls. So this is the main difference between the Mockito and WireMock. So WireMock is there to mock the server calls, and Mockito is there to mock the classes that are part of your application. Let's summarize the benefits of the WireMock over Mockito. So just pointing out, I just explained you. It works as a web server just like real API. In Mockito, there is no such thing. It is a real HTTP call. There is no such thing here. It is external to app code. You can host your you can run WireMock as a server and get the response from there. It is part of the application code. You write all the mocking logic in the application test itself, right? There is no option that you can export, you can outsource that call to third thing. It can simulate the network faults. There is no option to simulate the network failures. You just can throw mock the exception. Language agnostic. So whether you are working on the Java, Python, any Groovy, any other JVM language, if it is a REST-based response, you can just use that. There is no need. There is no programming logic in the WireMock itself, right? So it is language-specific mocking libraries. For Java, we are using Mockito, and for other languages, there are there as well, right? So there is prod like testing. It feels like that the production like environment is in a test environment, and there is no such thing in Mockito. You cannot feel that anyway because you cannot use this mocking. So now this is all about the theories about the wire mock. So you just if anything is not clear, just put that in comment section or reiterate these things to understand the concepts. Next, I'm going to set up the project for the demo, right? So this will be just a service, a payment service for which we will be writing the test. So scope of this tutorial is to write the unit test and end-to-end testing, not the source code for the microservice, right? So I'm just going to explain you what I have written. I have already prepared the payment service. I'm just going to reiterate that one. So try to understand that, and we will use those source codes to write the unit test, which we will be writing from scratch from the next videos, right? So this is the ticket booking service that I have created, and this is the project structure. So as usual, I have created this application using Spring Boot from the start.spring.io. You can go ahead and create that it from there, right? So this is the main class here. This is the Java, and this is the different packages that are in picture here. So this is the controller. I have one controller here, right? So these are the things here. Ticket booking service is there, and ticket book, we have three endpoints: ticket booking, update payment if there is any, batch payment for the multiple bookings. On all of these are post calls. I'm going to simulate the get mapping as well. So here if I go to ticket booking service, so it has actual call to the third. It has business logic actually. It has all the business logic. So when I say pay for booking and all those things, so if it is a fraud alert, then call the fraud check service. So if I come here, so this is the actual gateway where I'm using the REST template, and here is the base URL, and these are the specific endpoints that I want to call. So for making the payment, I'm calling this one. For updating the payment, I'm calling the update one by passing the booking ID. And for the fraud check, I'm just passing the card number, that is this. And ticket booking service, all of this is being used here. Update payment detail is here, and respective response is prepared here based on the response that it has created. And here is the batch payment about this one, right? So, and how this is going here, right? So this is the just simple business logic, nothing fancy here, right? So this is the controller here, and this is the service here, this is the gateway, and these are the multiple DTUs that are in picture here to just to contain the data. And this is the application from where I can run this Spring Boot application, right? So this is about the API, and this is the test. No test classes are here, so I'm going to create the test classes from scratch from the next videos, and will explain you everything about it, right? So this is about the project setup, right? And all of these things, you do not, if you do not want to write this one, you can get it from the GitHub page. So this is the GitHub page where I'm maintaining all the source code and pushing all the source code that is there. So try to understand this one. For if you can download it from here. I hope you know this one. I'm I'm sure you know this, how to clone and how to download the zip and how to set up it, right? So there is one folder, practice, that is ticket booking service. So I just explained you a skeleton of the project that is part of this one, right? And here I have this ticket booking service. I'm going to write the test into this one, right? So if you want to practice along with me, just clone this one. Practice is going, anytime you watch this video, this is going to be the just the source code, and you can start writing at the time of watching the videos. And this ticket booking service will contain complete solution, complete end-to-end and unit testing as well, right? So this is the these are the two folders that you can make use of, right? And coming down, this is the Warmock course plan properly maintained here. So this is the one video that I have covered, detailed course plan of Warmock. And this is the second topic, chapter 1, introduction, that I'm just talking about. And these are the future videos, right? So hopefully if you get this video, all the links are updated, and here is the YouTube channel here, and this is the proper list here as well. So all the videos are coming to this list one here, right? So this is about the project setup and how you can access this one, right? Who uses Wiremock? So when you are going to use new library, new thing, it is always good to check that who is using those one, right? And how much community support you can get out of that one. So that gives you the kind of confidence that you should go ahead or not. So this is just one part, right? And this is from the official website of the Wiremock, that these are the giants that are using Pivotal Software, Yellow, UE Sky, and many more companies are using Wiremock and uh, getting benefit of this one. So I hope you will also use, and if you are not using this one, you will introduce this one. You can make the POC around this one and introduce this one as well. So I hope it will be helpful. And as always, any confusion, any doubt, put that in comment section. I'll be happy to help you out. So I'll see you in the next video. Till then, take care. Bye bye.